Okay, so next is another thing that you'll have to do, and it is changing your bearings. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. I actually had a third way to show you because I had the tool but can't seem to find it. So we're going to show you two ways to change your bearings. I recommend this method if you're crunched for time and you are using a nylon hub. Nylon hubs, look, they are the plasticky ones versus the metal aluminum hubs like these. I do not recommend this particular method that I'm going to show you. Sorry, that's an airplane. Alright, so I don't recommend this method I'm about to show you for aluminum hubs, which are the metal hubs versus the nylon hubs. So this is how I do it if I'm crunched for time. I don't have a bearing press or any type of bearing tool. I guess catch the lip on it, I guess. You go, I mean, your bearing is about that wide. So what you do is you want to hook the beginning portion, maybe like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch onto your axle. You can actually use the axle to remove your bearing from the wheel. So you just hook it in there at an angle like that, and you're basically going to pry your bearing right out. You see how that worked? Then once you get the inner bearing out of the wheel, then it's as simple as pushing with your axle the bearing that is remaining, and it should pop right out. I try not to use this method because you can damage your bearings by doing this, but it does come in handy when you show up at a venue, the floor is weird, you need to change wheels, and you don't have any tool to help you. So this is a very primitive way to do this, and again, I don't recommend it on aluminum hubbed wheels. And putting them back in, manually using your hands, you just line it up, you push it in. Same thing with the other side, line it up, you push it in. Boom. Alright, now process is a little different. I'm going to show you how to put bearings in this wheel, and then I'm going to take them back out again. So this is the Hyper Shaman, the white Shaman ones. I've actually had dyed mine green at one point, so that's why they look kind of like not an identifiable color. Love these wheels, by the way. So this is a bearing press. They run about $60. They're not a necessity, but they do come in handy. I got one for Christmas, and I use it all throughout my season, and my teammates tend to borrow this quite often. So it's something good to have, but it's not imperative. Alright, so to put bearings in, you use this side right here. So what you do, this is very simple. You put a bearing, you put a wheel, you put a bearing. You lay it down, make sure everything is lined up correctly, and you use your lever here. And I do this pretty slowly, especially if I'm working with aluminum hubs, and you press it right in. Easy peasy. So to take them out, you use this end here. You see this little axle sized peg here? It's got a little divot taken out of it. That is to hook onto your bearing. So you feed the peg here into your wheel. You hook it onto the bearing. You should be able to just let it hang there on that little divot in the peg. Then you use your lever again, and this should pop right off. Just like that. Same thing to the other side. And keep in mind, these are coming off really easy. Sometimes, especially if you've had bearings in for quite a long time, this can be not as easy as I just made it look. It can be like a struggle for real.